Spectrum is one of the first 6 energy cards you unlock in Marvel Snap. There's even a Battle Pass challenge which requires you to win 2 games with her in your starting deck. I've built an optimized version of this Spectrum deck using cards which you will have access to really early on in the game. If you don't have all of them, do not panic. After a few games, you'll eventually be able to get hold of all of them, and I will offer some suggestions for replacements for cards that you definitely will have. My name's Specimen. I've been playing Marvel Snap for the last 5 months. Make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Snap beginner content. Also, check me out on Twitch, where I do stream a lot of Marvel Snap. Spectrum costs 6 and is 5 stats, and on reveal, she is giving your ongoing cards +2 power. So of course the deck has lots of ongoing cards, it's got just the best mid-range cards, and then I've just filled out the rest of the deck to make sure we have a nice solid mana curve. Spectrum is really good at surprising your opponent. Imagine I have a location with 4 cards in it. My opponent is going to do the maths, knowing I cannot play any other cards there. They're going to just maybe win by a point or 2, and then bang, you play Spectrum on a different lane, which is putting points into that lane, securing that location, surprising your opponent and getting a free win on turn 6. Of course, winning and surprising your opponent on turn 6 is going to get you double the cubes. Antman in particular is a card which has a whole bunch of synergy with Spectrum. 5 energy, 0 stats, and it's an ongoing ability, so it's going to get +2 off Spectrum, and it's going to double the power at that location. So the +2 that Spectrum gives you on Antman is really worth +4. And of course, if you've got any other ongoing cards in your Antman location, they're also going to be really playing for 4 points more than 2. So Antman plus Spectrum is a great combo to play on turn 5 and turn 6. Ideally, you're going to play Iron Man on a location which has got 4 cards in. But again, you don't want to overcommit to this Iron Man lane because you also need to win another lane. So it's really a nice little balancing act. You want to have enough stats to win in your Iron Man lane, but you also don't want to just be putting all your sauce into that one single lane. Antman's another really good card. It's just a nice mid-range card. It plays for 4 stats for 1 energy. Spectrum's going to give it +2. We've got Hawkeye on the deck as just a mid-range card. 3 stats for 1. Going to be a nice card to have in your Iron Man lane. It's just big points for its cost without, again, overcommitting and having too many stats tied up into your Iron Man lane. Misty Knight is the weakest card in this deck by far, and as soon as you get to pull 1, you should be replacing her. I just included her because she is okay. I didn't want to include Quicksilver in this one because Quicksilver is decreasing the odds of us drawing out other cards, and a lot of our cards are quite high on mana, and therefore I just wanted to have some cheaper 1-cost cards. Nightcrawler is also just there. Nightcrawler's just in there for value. It's just a good card. Costs 1. Going to be able to play it in combination. For example, on turn 6, you could go Iron Man plus Nightcrawler. Colossus usually is a pretty average card, maybe slightly below average, but with the +2 stats that Spectrum's giving it, it's going to be playing for around 5 points for 2 energy. Does have some serious upsides as well when there's locations that are going to be giving negative points. That's where Colossus really comes into its own. Sentinel is a great mid-range card early on in the game. It's going to help you iron out your mana curve because you play it and then you get another 2-cost card, and therefore it's really difficult to be wasting mana in a game where you have Sentinel in your opening hand. The rest of the cards are all ongoing cards. Mr. Fantastic, who you want to be playing in the middle lane. You have the Punisher, which is also ongoing, but then it's just getting points in its own lane. Again, all these cards getting +2 on your Spectrum. We have Kazar, your 1-cost cards have +1 power. That's again another reason to be playing the Misty Knight over some of the other options. Even though she seems super lackluster, actually she's kind of playing for like 3 stats for 1. Of course, one of those stats is actually coming from Kazar, but it's a bit of synergy in the deck, which Misty Knight is doing a decent job in there. And then finally Blue Marvel, because it's the other ongoing card you have access to this early on. So how good is this deck? It's probably one of the worst starter decks. You do need to obviously play Spectrum though to get through the battle pass, and realistically it is a fun deck that you should try out, and it's a nice challenge if you're just winning a lot of your games, you want to try something a little bit more difficult. This is a really good deck to get your teeth into, to learn some of the finer, more interesting mechanics in Marvel Snap. If you don't have access to some of these cards, I would say Medusa's a pretty solid card. Star-Lord's kind of okay. Check out my tier list video for the beginner cards and just see which cards are rated high and maybe include those. But make sure your mana curve isn't too high. Realistically, 1 6-cost card, 1 5-cost card, 1 4-cost card is usually the way to go, in my opinion. Obviously, there's some exceptions with this deck. I've got 2 5-cost cards. It would just be rude not to play Blue Marvel in this deck, let's be honest. Yeah, let's crack on with the gameplay. What do you even look for to building a deck in this game? Well, you want a nice mana curve and you want synergy, right? So like in this deck, I'm building a deck built around Spectrum, which is a 6-cost card, which buffs up ongoing cards. So basically any card which has the ongoing word I've put in the deck. But then I've also like looked to have a nice mana curve, right? So like I've got a 1-cost card here, now I've got 2-cost cards, and then I've got 3-cost cards, right? We should play Sentinel before Colossus. It just gives us more flexibility. Holy moly, this board is insane. Punisher's probably not that good. Let's snap. This is an easy snap because on turn 4 this could transform into Klein, and therefore like basically only things can be played in Vault on turn 5. Which just suits us, right? This board is insane. It's obviously our first game in this deck. And this is an example of exactly why I played the Sentinel and not the Colossus, because now this just gives us the flexibility of going Sentinel and Colossus, which is exactly what we're going to do. We just probably, we could, in fairness, secure this lane by doing this. Yeah, I think let's do that. They're most likely going to play here. If they commit here, we're already winning this one. It doesn't really matter, right? Having said that, Blue Marvel as well. We can play Blue Marvel mid. Blue Marvel might be enough if we're losing this by 3 points. No, unfortunately we're losing it by more than 3 points. So now it's just about getting the most stats in the middle lane that we can possibly get. We're winning the right lane. Yeah, Mr. Fantastic also isn't doing it. It should be at 10. Yeah, it's just this, right? Iron Man's only 5 stats mid. Blue Marvel's 4 stats mid. So it's yeah, these two. Pretty confident. I love a game like this where, yeah, and you see, my opponent now should forfeit, of course, because they can't play any cards. It's already, the game is done. Like, everyone's locked out of the final turn, right? And the cubes are going to double. So my opponent should always concede here. They should always retreat. Whether they do or not remains to be seen. My opponent has not found the beautiful retreat button. Danger Room, showing up first. So, interesting to note, if we play Hawkeye this turn, we don't actually have a follow-up card to play. So we're not going to play Hawkeye. Obviously, we could draw a 2-cost or a 1-cost card. Come on, die! Yeah, get out of there, blood. Oh, they have the Angel, mate. So, thinning. Angel is like the only card which thins from the deck, I think, in the game. So yeah, like as it turns out, we would have been fine to have played the Hawkeye. But it is what it is. And it literally doesn't matter, right? Like, I'm not wasting any energy here. We're going to go Hawkeye mid for sure. I mean, whatever. Let's just like try and get some stats in there. Let's snap. I have a really nice mana curve. We haven't died to Danger Room once yet today. Yeah, so Spectrum, +2 stats to all the ongoing cards we have. So we could go, for example, like punish. Rather than going just Khazar, right? We can get Antman down, which is also going to like be +2. Like, Antman's so many stats. Question is which lane. We could just do this. It would be quite nice to draw more cards. It's not a huge deal, but also we're denying our opponent drawing cards. I think Antman mid is just looking fine, right? Maybe. I mean, honestly, this is kind of tempting. There's just too many ongoing cards. There's too much commitment. Let's just do this. Could have just been a Khazar play, honestly. I don't love this. I definitely just don't want to be playing into Danger Room at this point, right? With so many stats, especially now the Sword Master's there. So we could go Khazar Nightcrawler, we could go Iron Man, we could go Blue Marvel. I think I like the Nightcrawler Khazar play, actually. This gives me a lot of flexibility, right?
A superb specimen, truly.
They snap on us. Yo, hey, so thanks for follow. Hey, yo. Okay, they have the Iron Man mid, which is quite scary. They're trying to win the middle lane. I'm a little bit intimidated by that. The good news is I have already 2 ongoing cards there. So I'm getting +4 stats mid. I would imagine they're just going to play another card mid, to be completely honest. I think the line here is to do this. Like we lose 25% of the time because Danger Room kills Spectrum. We're winning all 3 locations before our opponent plays a card. Okay, just don't low roll. Ah! Easy game. Focusing fully on starter content, right? Because like the cards that I'm playing is like not relevant, so I'm doing some recording for a YouTube vid at the minute. I'm just fully focusing on all the starter stuff. Mostly headache based, right? Well, I have heard Spyro said that he's got a headache and just tested positive, so it could be. Usually in this situation I go for Sentinel, right? But I'm just gonna take the Colossus because I have Spectrum in hand. It's like 5 stats, right? Whereas Sentinel's only 3. I'm gonna take Mr. Phantasmo. Ooh, that's juicy. It's a very, very easy snap. To be honest, I was probably a little bit late to snap. Like I could have snapped the turn before because my hand was just so good. Ooh, Scarlet Witch. 2 stats, 3 energy. On reveal, replace this location with a random new one. I would actually like to see Scarlet Witch go back to being a 1-cost card for maybe just 1 stat. She used to be two stats, 1 cost. I just don't think she's very playable at this current. Opponent snapped. They probably have a blue marble too if they're playing Skrill Gale. Uh-oh, they've got the Devil Dino. Big stats on Dino, one of the best cards in Pool 1. So blue marble buffing all my cards by 1. I guess we just play the Spectrum now, but it's also nice to play Spectrum last time for some surprise value, but we probably just play it now. Let's play it off to the right. Odin on Scarlet Witch, okay. So new location. I'd say have +1 power. Allows us to play this. Is this already enough? So this is 7 stats, +2 is 9. So yeah, we're already winning mid with just the Punisher. They could play like some kind of card which is buffing. Maybe I should have just committed like an extra card here. It's a little risky. This is a win. Do we win all 3 lanes here? I think. Maybe we're not winning this left lane. I can't remember what this last card was. It was Misty Knight, so yeah, I'm not. It's 3 stats. Wait, did I do my maths wrong on this middle lane? I'm such a clown. We get away with murder there. I thought I was winning by 1, but I wasn't. How did that happen? Did I move a card out of here? I have no idea. Never mind. I got lucky as hell. But yeah, I also need to record the actual video codes. Opponent snap turn 1. Alright, let's have it. If you're feeling that confident, mate, let's see it. Back yourself! If you snap me, I'll snap you. card to have in your deck. I have no respect. This card is so bad. It's basically just Misty Knight, but better. But I'm not using my pull 1 cards, alright? Come on, show me Washington, so... That's really good for us, though. I should have... this is a misplay. I should have just moved Nightcrawler because there's a 50% chance base. But I already ended my... clicked end turn button, so I can't change my mind. Let's just hope Monster Island gets... Bishop's a really good card. 3 energy, 1 stat. This used to be like 3 stats at one point. It's been nerfed a couple of times. It's still solid. Flip. So I missed out on a few points. Missed out on 2 points, but have the flexibility of having not moved it yet. We could go Punisher Hawkeye. We could just go Kazar. What do I mean by pool 1? So in Marvel Snap, there's 3 different pools for cards. Kind of 4 pools. You have your starter cards, which is up until Odin and the beginner battle pass, where everyone's going to get those cards. Then, once you start getting the mystery cards, you're in the first pool of cards. So you can't, for example, get Spider-Man straight away. You have to collect all the pool 1 cards in a random order. Once you've got all of the cards in pool 1, you'll then move on to another pool of cards, with cards like the Collector, Shang-Chi is in pool 2, for example. You're going to get those cards in a random order, but then when you've got all the pool 2 cards, you then move on to pool 3, where like a lot of the top meta cards are. But bear in mind, you're only going to be playing against people of a very similar collection level to you. Matchmaking is very much based on collection level, a big part of it. So you're not going to be playing against people that are in pool 3 with like the top meta decks, right? You're just not. Okay, yeah, I honestly don't know. This is the play if I don't draw Spectrum, basically. So... this looks like a win. So I'm losing 3 stats off of this. I'm at 20. This is a 5-point card, right? So this is a tie in the left lane. And it's going to come down to who has more total points, which is probably my opponent, if I'm honest, as I just didn't draw my Spectrum, right? I just don't have my finisher. Yeah, Antman's 4, this is 2, so I have 2 more points. So I'm tying left lane. So it's then going to be coming down to who has more points overall, which is almost definitely going to be them, right? We go retreat later, just in case my opponent also retreats.
Escaped.
That's actually a good game to include in the video. Ooh, nice one. That's good news. Sentinel's really good when Subterraneous shows up, because they're going to have like a problem of having cards to play, whereas I've just always got Sentinel, right? It's just stats. Not really going to be wasting much energy despite the rock situation. And even though this is Ruin, like this was like a basically on deploy type effect, so we could go Colossus, Misty Knight here. Colossus is 5 stats. It's probably better to do this. Having said that, like we're also losing a lot of the flexibility, so maybe let's not do that. Let's just do this. Not playing rocks. Ah, I should play the rock because I have Kazar, right? This could have been 1 stat if I draw Kazar. Ah, you enjoying it? Let's go, man. They just morphed into Spectrum. Oh god. Yeah, there are those rocks that I talked about. I think just don't commit mid, because they have Antman, they're very likely to play cards mid here. Doesn't look good for us, but... So they get another Spectrum from us. And they actually snapped. Really? Don't I just win if I go Spectrum left? Yeah, I think if they go Spectrum left, I'm beating them. They have to go like Hulk or something. What is this play? This is horrible. Nice. Yeah, we beat Spectrum to the left, right? So it was it would have been foolish to fold there, I think. Because we knew they had Spectrum off White Queen, right? And this is another example. Like Hulk beats us. In fact, Odin to the left still beats us as well, right? They just misplayed. That was just a horrible play. Early on, it does hook you, but it does hook you a lot. Yeah, the Spectrum deck doesn't seem all that. I think the best early game deck is just Hulk. Just Hulk, mate. Mid-range Hulk. So we're going to play that after a couple more games. And then I'll probably call it there and record some bits and pieces. I definitely should get some TikToks out. Yeah, Odin's also a Don. I think like the popular opinion is Odin is the best starter deck, but my edgy, controversial opinion is that Hulk is actually really flipping good. Nice one, Dad. Thanks so much. Old man's made me some food. So how many cards of each cost do you have? Good question. You pretty much never want to play 2 6-cost cards with some exceptions. I would also argue you never really want to have 2 5-cost cards. Sometimes, again, some exceptions. But generally speaking, as a general rule. Where did we go with this Khazar? I mean, Odin's great, for sure. Odin's really great, but mate, Hulk, I love the card. It's my favorite card, honestly, in the whole game. I don't know why, there's just something about Hulk that just gets me feeling a certain kind of way. It's definitely not the best card in the game, no way, Jose. Okay, they got an Iron Man off of us. Iron Man to the left lane just wins. I mean, we could play our own Iron Man still. It's like this stuff's moving, right?
I am Iron Man. I am Iron Man.
Problem is like getting stats in the middle. Oh yeah, Mr. Fantastic actually helps out in that regard, to be fair. Is this winning? I don't think so, right? 8. 8 plus 7 is 15. That's 30. That's 54 plus 6, 60. No, it's not. Actually, Gwent level maths. Holy shit. Yeah, this Iron Man player is kind of trash. This could win. I don't think it will. They probably just play mid. If they play left, they almost definitely just play mid, right? Whatever. If they play left, we win. That's why I'm not folding. Like, I think I'm unfavored here. It's about 40%, and in my mind, it's just better to play here. Not 40%. If I forfeit, I'm losing 100% of the time, right? Yeah, we lose to this. Yeah, we lose, surely. It's still kind of close, though. Oh! didn't do the Kazar maths on Misty Knight, but it's only 2 extra points. So was I tying to the right? Fudge. My Gwen level maths. I think I was winning. I think I was tying to the right, which means I would have won overall because of like just having more total stats, right? So if I go to the right, my Misty Knight's 4. Right, let me just. So I'm at 28. Misty Knight comes over. She's at 20. She's a 9. So that's 18. So that's 46. Blue Marvel comes in as 8. Which is 16. 46, 52, 62. I don't know. 62. So I was still losing, yeah.